Today I wanted to take a look at Blood Surf, the 2000 Australian film released by Trimark Pictures. This is a film which I guess you could say it tries to be original or tries to offer something fresh and different, and unfortunately the special effects and somewhat poorly written dialogue and plot really don't help. Which is unfortunate because it really did seem at first to be a film that had potential. We have two extreme surfers, Bog and Jeremy, who are wanting to record a documentary on their extreme surfing, something which they have named blood surfing. Basically what they do is they spread chum or sort of a concoction of random fish parts or spare parts, dump that into the water. This is used to attract sharks. They then get into the water and surf with the sharks. Along with Bog and Jeremy, we have, I guess you could say, their makeshift crew. There is Cecily, who is the camera woman, and her boyfriend combination documentary producer, Zach. Along the way, they decide that they want to go into more remote areas, and they hire a guide who was reluctant at first. His name is John. Tagging along is his girlfriend, Artie. And part of the deal is that he has to bring his crew along with him. So we do have a very small family tagging along as well. Unfortunately, we really don't get a chance to meet them because they're pretty much the first victims once the slaughter comes about. During Bog and Jeremy's first surfing expedition, or their first time out, there is a very strange attack that happens. They do make it to the shore safely, but from the shore they witness some sort of a weird attack. It kind of sort of looks like an explosion, but obviously some of the sharks are either eaten or attacked. Obviously, if it's something big enough to eat a shark in a single bite, they don't want to be around. So they go off to a nearby island just to try and get away from that for a while. During their time on the island, the groups just sort of separate, go their own separate ways. Bog and Lamia, who is the daughter of one of John's crew members, they go off and just have a bit of fun off to themselves, I guess you could say. And Lamia is then murdered. The girl who plays Lamia is a very interesting lady herself. Her actual name is Maureen Lazabel, and I believe she is a Korean American-born Filipino actress, and she has definitely made a very interesting career for herself. This was definitely not one of her first films. She began her career as a singer, performing for roughly about 5 years with the Filipino group Big Deal, or the Big Deal Band. She later also went off and did some commercial work. She also has done some racy films when making her transition over into acting. Some of those titles would include, in addition to Blood Surf, some of those titles would include Unfaithful Wife 2 and Ekis. I would say one of her larger breaks has actually been on the sketch comedy show Bubble Gang. Unfortunately, we really don't get too much of a chance to meet her character because she is one of the first ones picked off, but definitely a very interesting person. Another one of the interesting combination actor models within the film was Kate Fisher. She is an Australian native and has also done various film work. One of her first film roles was the 1993 film Sirens. She also plays alongside Elle Macpherson and Portia de Rossi. Once the first attack does happen, Cecily, Zach, Jeremy, and Bog pretty much stay behind. John, their guide, does not show up until the following morning, and he has this weird hidden agenda that he wants to avenge himself against this giant 30-foot crocodile because it attacked his ship back when he used to be a tour guide. Obviously things don't go well, but it is a fairly interesting scene in the fact that they've pretty much put the alligator on a lure and they're just trying to reel him in. During this madness, we have Zach, who is also trying to film the catching of the giant crocodile because he thinks it would also make good material for a documentary. Obviously, being a producer, he only thinks of ways to generate cash income, I suppose. Things obviously do not go well for Zach as well as for John, and the remaining characters, Artie, Cecily, Bog, and Jeremy, are remaining, which actually Bog pretty much just doesn't last. He doesn't survive that last attack, so correction, we only have 3 remaining. Jeremy instructs the women to go ahead and head back to the island. There is some fresh water there, and the belief is that the crocodile will not go near fresh water, which to me is very odd because my assumption is that saltwater crocodiles can transition between both fresh and salt. But for some reason this crocodile has a problem with fresh water. So they go and they stay at some sort of a sanctuary or a ruin, and that's pretty much where they make their last stand against the crocodile, which is very poor CGI. It has this ridiculous sped up run, so it's not necessarily scary the fact that the crocodile is pursuing them. It's actually just more laughable than anything else. So in the ending sequence, it does look like they did leave an opening to make a sequel. I do not know if they actually do plan on following through with that, but there's definitely a very large opening to come back and do a second Blood Surf film. That is pretty much all for today, and I will talk to you later.